So in the UK, we're seeing three key trends which are driving the hot drinks market at the moment. The first have been the coffee market. And although it's been developing over the last few years, it hasn't actually reached its saturation point yet. And there's a big opportunity going forward to kind of drive this further. And we're seeing the two leading players in the coffee shop market being Costa Coffee and Starbucks is opening up a whole new avenue of opportunities of how consumers are drinking their coffee in the UK. The first being the renaissance of vending, which has been driven by the Costa Express machines, which have opened up in a number of outlets across the UK. And the second one being the drive-thrus. And both Starbucks and Costa are now offering this in a number of outlets across the UK. And this again is kind of lending to the whole convenience trend, which the UK consumer is demanding in terms of how they consume their coffee. And going forward, this is really where the opportunity is beyond the high street. But in the tea market, we're not seeing the same development as the coffee shop market has had over the last few years. We're expecting this to change in the foreseeable future and have its kind of Starbucks moment at some point. And we're seeing in the US that Starbucks have bought the Teavana brand, which is specialised in just tea. And here in the UK, Unilever bought a brand called T2, which opened up in Shoreditch just last month. And they're offering the consumer a different experience in terms of the types of tea that are available. So now they've got tea from all around the world, which is really lending to this whole trend of the green teas and the fruit and herbals, which we've seen growing massively in the retail environment over the last few years. But it's not just the chains tea shops which kind of have an opportunity. There's also a big opportunity for independents, both in tea and coffee. So in the independents, we're seeing the whole third wave movement of coffee grow further in terms of that coffee shops are specialising in the origin of the coffee and the product that they're serving the consumer. But the marketplace is quite polarised because you have that on the one hand, and on the other hand, you have the consumers demanding a different experience, which is unique from what the chain specialists are offering. And a good example of this is actually the Cat Cafe, which is a Japanese-inspired trend which opened up in London earlier this year. And in the Cat Cafe, offer the consumer a chance to have their tea and coffee as usual, but being surrounded by cats, which seems to be very popular in London at the moment, as it's booked out for most of this year. But it just kind of proves that there's opportunities for independents to kind of differentiate themselves from the chain specialists, tea and coffee shops going forward, and really drive the hot drinks market in the future.